Finding a good roommate can feel like winning the lottery. These are some of the wildest roommate stories I found on TikTok. We'll go through these stories, and at the end, if there's time, I'm going to share one of my personal stories of why I think one of my past roommates was a serial killer. But first, let's hear about these ones.
I decided to move into student housing, a place up in Orem, Utah. Then I had this one roommate move in. Right off the bat, I just kind of knew, like, we weren't really gonna vibe, but it's fine. Like, you do your thing, I'll do my thing. Respect each other's space, not a big deal. Anyway, that girl, she starts using all of our stuff, which, not a big deal. Like, I'm down to share, but, like, let's all combine or something, you know, let's talk about it. But she starts using it and, like, using my dishes and not washing it, just leaving it in the sink or taking it into her room for months at a time so that I'm out of, like, plates or whatever, you know? Holiday time, so she was gone for, I think, 2 weeks or more. And my roommate and I that I was friends with, we were like, what is this horrendous smell, like, that is in our house? And I mean, for the most part, we were pretty clean. Like, you know, we'd do our dishes right away, we would clean this, clean that, like, we were pretty dang clean. But it literally smelled like it was one of the worst smells I've ever smelled in my life. So we break into her room, and instantly my roommate, she throws up because of the smell. And I'm just holding my breath, and, like, you can't even walk through her room. It's piles and piles and piles of clothes. There is food in my bowls and my plates all over her room. And I see, like, one of my bowls in particular, it's filled up with, like, chili with meat in it, mind you, okay, on her nightstand. That's disgusting. I'm not freaking touching that.
Okay, so quickly pausing this story just to fill in some details that I cut out. The holidays are over, the roommate is back in town, and she is continuing to steal things from this girl. Okay, back to the story.
So then I'm like, I text in the group chat, I'm like, hey, whoever's been using my bowls, like, will you guys please put it back? Like, I don't know where they are or whatever. And she just doesn't respond. She never responded to anything in the group chat. Anyway, I was like, I still am missing some bowls and, like, hangers and, like, a bunch of this other stuff. So I go in there to go get my dishes out of her room. I'm like, I don't even care. Like, I know that that's not, like, respecting her space or anything, but I need my stuff. So I go in there. She's not in there. And I just grab my bowls and my hangers, and I notice the bowl that had the chili in it from, you know, a couple weeks before was eaten. She had ate the chili that was in the bowl that was a few weeks old. Okay, I don't know how this girl was still alive.
This story literally made my jaw drop. That is crazy that she ate the chili that had been sitting out for weeks on end, and there was meat in it, which is disgusting. There are two types of people in this life: those who follow expiration dates and those who do not. I am somebody who follows expiration dates to a T. I could never let food sit out like this and just be okay eating it. Oh, so gross. Ugh.
When I was in college, I lived with my best friend, and we had one random roommate, and she had this boyfriend that would come over every once in a while. We didn't really think anything of it. They would just, like, walk in, go straight up to her room. We never really saw him, and he didn't really talk to us a whole lot, but he was sitting in the kitchen, and we had 2 dogs, and he was eating a steak, and he was like, oh, can I offer the dogs a piece of my steak? Offers the dogs a piece of their steak because he hadn't met them before, and both of our dogs were, like, really weirdly, like, distant from him, and they wouldn't take the steak. And both of our dogs are very food driven. Like, anybody gives them a treat, they're, like, happy to see them. They're instantly best friends. So we thought that was, like, instantly a red flag that both of them wouldn't take the steak from him. One day, me and my best friend, we decided to do some digging, so we looked him up. We figured out he was on house arrest because he beat a man with a bat outside of a Wendy's because that's who his baby mama was cheating on him with. And then we did some more digging, and we found out that he's on the national sex offender list. No wonder our dogs got, like, a weird feeling around him because he was a creep. So maybe set some boundaries with your roommates. Maybe say, hey, don't date a guy with an ankle monitor on, don't date a guy who beat a man with a bat outside of Wendy's, and don't date a guy who's on the national sex offender list. I just feel like that's not too much to ask for, but maybe it is.
I know being single is very difficult and it can get very lonely, but come on. We cannot be settling for guys like this. You deserve better. We deserve better. Your roommates deserve better. We have talked about dating stories on this channel before. If you want to go watch those videos after you finish this one, I'd highly recommend it. This particular story scared me so much because it made me realize that the roommate is not always the immediate red flag, but sometimes it's the people they hang out with or the people that they date and bring around. And you as a roommate can't really do anything about that. You can't kick them out. You can have a conversation and say like, hey, I don't want this person in our house. But in the end, if you're an adult, that is kind of their choice to hang out with who they want.
My crazy ex-roommate said that they were allergic to dairy. But I'm mindful, I'm demure, I have allergies. I try to be considerate. One night we were being fancy, we were ordering delivery. I was like, hey, do you want some pizza? And I corrected myself and was like, oh wait, sorry, like you can't eat the cheese. Do you want to order from somewhere else? And then that way you can also get food? And she goes, no, it's fine, we can just get pizza. I think she's just being nice, so I go, oh no, it's really no problem. We can order from somewhere else. She like yells, stop telling me what to do. It's my body, like I can do whatever I want. So I was like, whoa, like all right, we'll order pizza. We order pizza, and of course she has a bad reaction to it, then just goes to sleep for the rest of the day. And this would happen constantly. But the worst one was when we were out somewhere looking for a place to eat. I made the mistake of going, ooh, a Mellow Mushroom. So then of course we had to go to Mellow Mushroom. She had to order pizza. And then the rest of us are there trying to eat. She just folds up her hoodie and goes fully to sleep in the booth across from us in a crowded restaurant. Not a teenager, by the way. This is a woman in her late 20s. Waiter kept coming over and asking, is she okay? Like, no, dude, but I don't think anybody in the world has enough degrees to fix that. And when we were leaving, we couldn't quite get her to get up. We had to like stand there in a crowded restaurant and try to rouse our roommate from a booth.
Before I make a comment on this story, I love Mellow Mushroom, and as somebody who does not like pizza and does not eat pizza, they have some delicious soft pretzels that you can order as a normal person or somebody who has a lactose allergy. Just get the soft pretzels next time. Besides that point, I feel like the girl who told this story would be very fun to hang out with. She seems like a really good friend, very sincere, very caring. But clearly the roommate did not want anybody to help her out. There must be some like deep trauma with parents telling her what to do her whole life or something. And now she's convinced that she can do whatever she wants. And that is not the case. Please do not eat food that makes you sick. It's not worth it. Okay, some quick backstory on this next one. The OP got divorced and was struggling to pay her rent for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. And she had a friend who had also kind of fallen on hard times. And this friend was one of her bridesmaids in her wedding. So they knew each other very well. They decided to move in together, and the friend brought with her her child, her husband, and her dog. So let's get into the story.
Literally the next morning on December 3rd, I get multiple texts from her. She is asking me for multiple things, and I'm giving them to her because I want her to feel comfortable. But she was asking me for like a razor, shower curtain, toilet paper, conditioner, all this kind of stuff. And I just was trying to be nice and make them comfortable. But I really didn't have the money to go out and just provide all of that for them. So she also had asked me for the Hulu login that I had, and I had like an old TV out in the garage. It didn't work. I don't think it even worked. I don't even know whose it was. I think it was my ex-husband's. I don't know, but it was in the garage, and she asked if she could use it, and I was like, sure, if it works, fine.
Okay, so she also lended her a mattress as well for her and her husband to use, and a couple other things, and then eventually just never paid rent, which is insane. I can't imagine giving that many things to like a friend in need, and then they're just kind of like entitled about it. But I would love to know how you would handle a roommate like this. Are you okay sharing stuff? Like if you both use the same bathroom, like who buys toilet paper? Do you share your paper towels in the kitchen? Would you ever share your shampoo? That seems a little weird to me. What are the boundaries that you set with a new roommate, especially if they're a friend that you thought, oh, this is going to work out. This will be smooth and easy to live with this person. And then it isn't. How do you have that conversation? So share that in the comment section below.
In the first month of us living together, okay, she started to talk in her sleep. And sometimes it would wake me up. but it would just be like mumbling. But like low key would scare me a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't know you. Sometimes it would be like random sentences, or it would be like her like, hand me that, or no, wait, or stop. But they started to progressively get a little bit scarier. Okay. So anyways, one weekend I have my brother come visit me, and I had told her that my brother was going to come visit me, and me and my brother were going to share my bed, but sleep opposite ways. Okay. We're laying in bed when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, now mind you, it wasn't like pitch black in my room. There was like just enough light coming out of the window that you can like see silhouettes, but you couldn't see like details. Okay. Out of nowhere, my college roommate starts talking in her sleep, and she goes, kill him, kill him, kill him, murder, murder. And like I heard it, but I like the way my heart started racing, and I thought my brother was asleep. So I like turn over a little bit to see, like to look at her, and I'm not even kidding you. This is what I saw. This is her in bed. This is what I literally witnessed. Kill them, kill them, kill them. I felt like I was in a horror movie. And we started praying. She's still sitting up this entire time with her head like this, saying nothing. Eyes fully open. I'm actually kind of scaring myself right now. Every time I think about that, I get so scared.
So a lot of people in her comment section were saying that this roommate was faking it or was just messing with her. But I have had a couple roommates who talk in their sleep, and it is terrifying, whether they know it or not. And a lot of times they'll like deny it the next morning, but it can be really scary at like 3 a.m. if you're like woken up by your roommate like talking, and especially if it's like weird, creepy things. It's kind of spooky. I am on her side. I had a roommate once who had like a sleepwalking episode, which he had never done before. And I just watched him like sit up in bed. And then he walked out of our room into the living room and just stood under the ceiling fan. And he just stared at this like blank wall. We had no artwork on it or anything. I like called his name and was like, hey, are you all good? And he was like, I just need to get ready. I just need to get ready. Let's get ready. And I was like, it is 3 a.m. And then he just like turned around and got back in bed. And the next morning he had no memory of that situation, and it was super terrifying. So I think I'll save my serial killer roommate story for another time. Please like this video if you want to hear that story in the future. Also, please share your crazy roommate stories in the comment section below. I would love to hear them. Subscribe if you want more videos like this. And if you like this video, here's another one that you can go watch, and I'll see you next time.